Good morning to you all and welcome to our service this morning. Our last service of 2013. The year we've had many ups and downs, much joy and much sadness. And I'm sure you've each got your own memories of what have happened in this past year. Lock them in your hearts, especially the positive ones. The great services we've had, the nativity play with the children, the young people's service, our harvest, where you were so generous you gave more than any time in the past. We obviously remember Pam, remember Fiona, remember everything else that's happened. And can I just thank you all for being here, those that came to my ordination a couple of weeks ago. It was an incredible service. I'm very blessed and I'm honoured to have such a lovely congregation here at last Siesta. We still have so many people away, and I'm so pleased. If you're joining us for the first time, you're most welcome. Likewise, I'm so pleased that you managed to get up and not hibernate like some of our congregations. It was 8 degrees when I left just after 10 o'clock this morning, and I'm sure that there are some still cuddled up under their duvets that really would love to have been here, but the cold has stopped them. So. And of course we've still got those that are unwell, and Alan will tell you about those in our prayer needs in a little while. You will notice, just in case you aren't aware, this is the 5th Sunday in December, and that throws the lectionary out a little bit. When Kathy does the second reading this morning, she will be talking about the Magi leaving, where in fact they haven't yet arrived. That in fact comes next week, because normally the first Sunday after Christmas will be the first Sunday in January, and that's when the Magi arrive. So because this Sunday's come in the way, it has thrown things. So I've had to put into the reading that it just says after they've left. So I've had to put in the Magi, otherwise you're thinking, well, who's left? But you'll hear that later. And for those of you that won't be here, because I know a lot of you don't like getting up too early at 9:30, including you, but you still make it every day, every week. I'm so pleased. We will be covering that next week. But for those of you who miss it, just read the Bible. Read the section of Matthew 2 before today's reading. Could I just say to you, just as I was thinking about this last night, those of you that only come to our 11 o'clock services means you come for about 24 services a year. And if I do a 15-minute sermon, it means you get 6 hours of the Word of God a year, which is less than 2 days of watching television. And yet, when I'm standing at that door, I still get people moaning that the sermon was too long. So from now on, the first person who dares to say your sermon was 2 minutes too long will get their ears clipped. Is that all right? Anyway, enough from me. Please enjoy this service. I will now take over in the place of Keith.
I could respond. Our serious part now, the prayer needs for the community. I've been asked via the prayer chain to include Roy and Nina, who are close friends of Chaz and Eunice's. Roy is the victim of cancer. Leslie, who is not with us, she's in the UK, asked, I emailed that we remember Pat White in our prayers. She's been diagnosed with vascular dementia and is scared because she, first off, will not be able to drive her car at all, but that's minor to the rest of the threat she feels. Leslie also suggests, and I know it'll be included in the prayers of intercession, that we put the children and Tracy in Mozambique firmly in our minds. They have just recently suffered a rather frightening fire in their compound. It's destroyed a large amount of stock and crockery or something. It says crocs, Howard. I don't even mean crocodiles.
It's a special kind of shoes.
Shoes? Oh,
yeah. Sandals.
There's other things, okay. But even so, that is a loss of stock, and money is very tight, and she doesn't usually ask for prayer. She knows we do pray for her, but this one starts, please, we need prayers. But put her in your minds. Leslie also suggests that at the end of a year we think back, as Keith has just advised us, to think of all those people we've lost, to think of those people who lost them personally and are now alone and in need of support. Keep them firmly in your minds, please. Then Jess Thompson is in hospital and she needs our prayers. As does Sandra Garman, one of our elders. She is constantly having tests. Nobody seems to be able to get to the bottom of her problems. And David, our elder and much missed verger, is not responding as well as we hope. So I'll ask you to keep him in your mind as well. So, we'll proceed with the more joyful part of the service and start with our first hymn, number